state of affairs as of today, the blowhards in the Republican Party continue to march on, raising money hand over fist, manipulating what they claim is a fraud that occurred in the presidential election. Yes, there was a fraud, but unfortunately, they're the gang that can't shoot straight. They haven't come up with any information with regard to widespread voter fraud. We just have a lot of garbage out there, people that are promoting the hammer, which is 30 years old. Maybe there was a cyber attack, but certainly didn't come from that. And you have, of course, the money that's being raised by the Trump campaign and others to pay for what they're doing. Now, I want to know why, with a person that's worth nearly $10 billion, the American people need to pay money to get the job done. But more important than that, it's not going to get done because we know, and you can go to my book, It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry. The federal judiciary and the state judiciary are compromised and or corrupt when it comes to these matters. Maybe you get a fair decision if there are two people in an equal position. Nobody knows who they are. No one cares. Maybe they actually make a ruling on the merits. But as you'll see in my book, It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry. When you get into these political cases, the judges who are establishment hacks, generally speaking, shy away from doing anything controversial that can affect their future in terms of being promoted to a higher post, either a judgeship or something else, because the opposing party can effectively block them. We've seen that. So do not expect that the situation with regard to Biden and Harris is going to change. The handwriting is on the wall. It's frightening. It's scary. It's criminal. There was fraud, but the individuals who are in charge, Trump's so-called legal team, Giuliani and others, they were caught flat-footed, as Maria Bartiromo said, one of the few remaining conservative commentators on Fox News. They didn't know what they were doing, and they created a fait accompli. And now nearly every foreign leader has acknowledged Biden and Kamala Harris as president and vice president. The dynamic, the media, the leftist media, all the forces in this country assure that they will be the next president and vice president. So we got to face reality. And the reality is that it takes a revolution. We have to rise up peacefully and legally. It's now the time of the American people to do it for themselves. It's time to stop listening to people who are peddling, garbage and nonsense because they want to boost their ratings or their standing in Congress. I mean, just this morning, Lindsey Graham says, we're going to continue with our investigations of Russian collusion, witch hunts, and everything else. You know what? So what? You don't have a Justice Department anymore to prosecute. Forget it. Go back to wherever you go. Go back to your closet, Lindsey Graham, and figure out what you want to do. Because don't deceive the American people. And as far as our Justice Department is concerned, that's not going to be in control of Trump. And even when it was, what did they do? They did nothing. Blowhard Bill Barr, or I call him Puxatani Bill, like the groundhog in Pennsylvania, who runs back into his hole nearly every February 2nd. This attorney general has been in his hole under his desk. No one's been prosecuted. Not Comey, not Biden, not the Obamas, not the Clintons, not Clapper, not Orr, not the Lovebirds. No one. And now they have no means to do it. So you have to look to your Justice Department. You have to look to Freedom Watch. We will use citizens' grand juries. We indicted Mueller last fall. We're going to follow through with a trial. We're moving quickly to indict the Bidens for the crimes that they committed with the Ukraine, China, and other places. We, the people, must rise up. We must use our God-given powers, just like our founding fathers did in 1776. And I keep saying this, but I keep driving it in because, when you watch people like Hannity every night, same people, same monologue, generally speaking, people who've done nothing, they just talk. What are you accomplishing other than wasting your time? You're better off watching the Masters golf tournament. At least there, somebody wins and somebody loses. Here, the American people always lose because these people are deceiving the American people. And even Rush, who I love and I wish him well, Rush, get on to another topic. How do we fight a second American revolution? You cannot be looking to conventional forces, a compromised and corrupt Republican Party, to take on an even more corrupt Democrat Party. They're both corrupt. Let's face it. They're corrupt to the core. They didn't even want President Trump to remain in office. They were stabbing him in the back like Brutus for 4 years. And when these people rise up and claim they supported him, it's when they wanted money from campaign contributions. That was the only reason. The Republicans are probably going to lose control of the Senate because they're probably going to lose both elections in Georgia. That's my prediction, because the amount of money is going to pour in there. The Democrats are going to make the point. If we want to have our agenda enacted, we have to get rid of Republican control of the Senate. They're going to be flooding the airwaves with more paper ballots. And you can bet that Georgia, both of those seats, is going to go Democrat. So we have to rise up. Forget about the ballot box. Forget about elections. We no longer have a government by and for the people. And I'm not advocating violence. I'm not advocating bloodshed, although certainly Thomas Jefferson did. And you could read my book. But this is something that we need to realize right now. You need to snap out of it. You need to know what's going on. You need to be real and not live in a dream world. And I hope when the president, after January 20th, goes off, and we thank him for everything he did, and he did many good things, and I supported him the whole way. I wanted to meet with him. I could never meet with him because his confidant, the sleazy Roger Stone, was likely defaming me and my clients and everybody else. I have 6 lawsuits against Stone. Those will go forward because these are not the people that you need influencing what we do. What we need are people who have ethics, morality, and respect for the law and respect for God. You don't go to strip clubs to raise money when they're indicted, as Stone did. I mean, that's not the way you come to God, is to go to a strip club. I'm sorry. I don't think God hangs out in strip clubs. But in any event, we need to rise up. We need to do what we need to do. I want you to go out and get my book. It Takes a Revolution. Forget the scandal industry. Forget Fox News. Turn it off. The president himself is going to go out and he's going to start a new network that actually is a conservative network, that is a network of the people. And that's a good thing for him to do. And we will support that for sure. But this is now a crisis. And we need to rise up and we need to fight that revolution peacefully and legally. We need to put the criminals in prison where the sun don't shine. We, the people, have the right of citizens' arrests. We will not seek to do it violently, but read my book. That's ensconced in the Anglo legal system. It's even in statutory law, even in a leftist state like California, where if you see someone committing a felony, you have the right to arrest them and turn them over to the authorities. Well, don't expect Biden and Kamala Harris to do anything. So the people are going to have to decide what to do at that point, but we will not use violence. In any event, this is where we are today. And this is why we the people, must get real. You have to snap out of it. Stop listening to the BS that you hear, on Fox News and everything else. Forget about that network. It's been corrupted. It no longer represents the interests of we the people. It represents its own interests, and move on. And that's why I thank Radio America for allowing me to tell the truth as I see it every single day in the other places that I appear on my own radio show, Special Prosecutor with Larry Klaim in this podcast, others radio shows. Rise up. And the answer is not Newsmax either. It's run by Christopher Ruddy, who gave $1 million to the Clinton Foundation. Turn that one off too. This is what we have to do. We have to do it now for ourselves with God's grace. So go read the Declaration of Independence again. See what our founding fathers did. Read it more than once. It's a moving, beautiful document. It's a testament to our road ahead. And then read my book, It Takes a Revolution. Forget the scandal industry. Get it at Amazon.com. You can get it on Kindle. You can also get it in the audio if you want to listen to it. This is the roadmap to how we fight the second American Revolution peacefully and legally. Thank you for listening to me. God bless you. God save your family. Be safe, because the leftists are out to slit our throats, literally. And we need to defend ourselves and wage a counter-revolution and take this country back. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. God bless.